it's like so much natural lighting in here. I don't even have to have any of my studio lights set up or anything. It's literally just the sunlight and the room light, and that's it. So I wanted to make this video, and this information may be obvious to some, it may be condescending to some, but I think it needs to be said, and hopefully this can be educational for some, or just clarify some misunderstandings that I've seen amongst the Zoids collectors community. So, if you are looking to buy a high-end master model Zoid, and you see one that says BT or Black Knights on it and has an over excess of Chinese characters on it, that is not a alternate version. That is not it being published and distributed by a different company. That is a bootleg. It is a fake. BT Zoids are not authentic. So, my recommendation, do not buy them! And I know that comes as pretty obvious to some, but bootlegs are kind of a weird topic when it comes to imported merchandise from Asia, especially like anime merchandise, model kits, figures, that kind of thing. Every single thing, every single piece of like anime merch, toy merch, that kind of thing that comes out of Asia has a bootleg, guaranteed. So Nendoroids have bootlegs, Figmas have bootlegs, Gunpla has bootlegs, and Zoids have bootlegs. Here's the problem. So I in no way want to gatekeep somebody from having access to some of these older HMMs. So things like the Blade Liger Mirage that are very sought after, very hard to find, or maybe the Shield Liger Van version, or the Genosaur Raven version, something really awesome like that, that are very rare and hard to find these days, and people that have them unbuilt are charging several $100s for them. The Genobreaker Raven version, or the Psycho Genosaur, for instance, are like $450 for an unbuilt one right now, whereas brand new they would have been like $70, $80 before shipping brand new. So these BT Zoids appear to be a good value for someone who cannot afford the real thing. But as the community will tell you, it's more than just being authentic and supporting the original company, the original license holder, and giving money back into the creators so they can turn around and give us more products to support our hobby. That's one part of the argument, but the other part of it is just when you get down to the nitty-gritty of it, anyone that's built a bootleg or a BT Zoid can tell you is that the quality of them is not nearly the same. Everyone that I know on the collectors group that has built a BT Zoid says that the parts do not fit together like they're supposed to, and they are not made with the same level of quality as the Kodo versions. So that's one reason alone for you not to buy them, is just they're just not made as well. So you're going to be needlessly frustrated with an already complicated model that's very difficult to build, and you might run the risk of just breaking it and having several hours of work down the drain. The other argument, though, the ethical one I talked about supporting the original company and giving money back to them, is it's a weird dilemma of supply and demand. Because us as the hobbyists, us as the buyers, if they were to make more supply of the HMMs, we would not have to go to the bootleg because it would be accessible for everybody. So the bootleg almost fills this weird niche where the authentic company will not make enough supply to fit the demand because they don't want to spend excess amount of money on making supply that's not going to sell or whatever. It is kind of a niche hobby. It's a niche hobby that doesn't necessarily do well worldwide. It's not as marketable in America as Gundam is. And so that's one part of it is, well, if they just made more supply of the authentic ones, we wouldn't have to go to the bootleg one. But it is the existence of the bootleg that reveals the necessity to make more stock. Because if the bootleg didn't exist, they would only sell as much as they would produce, and they would have a complete monopoly on all the sales as far as that goes. There would be no alternative for someone else to turn to, and no one to shine the spotlight on how inaccessible these things are. So it's a weird ethical dilemma. Let me know what you guys think of that, because I think that the bootlegs are going to happen no matter what. And I don't think you guys should buy them under any circumstances. But what I do think is that the fact that the Chinese bootlegs, the knockoffs, exist is almost a weird necessity to incentivize the original company to make them either in larger quantities or cheaper prices, and to make them more accessible to more people so that people don't have to turn to the bootleg version. Do I think that's going to be effective? Not really. I mean, if you look at the type of hobbyists and the type of, like, you know, super nerds essentially that really love a particular niche, especially when it comes to like anime merch and stuff made in Japan, they can really charge whatever they want for it. Like, Kotobukiya Zoids are expensive. I get it. They're really expensive. Figmas are expensive. You're talking about a figure this big, 5-6 inches, for like $70. And you have a lot of people that spend a lot of money on these things. These companies are under no pressure to decrease the prices or to make them more accessible to more people. They have a sort of a complete control over the market, and that's the thing about a market is its value is whatever people are willing to pay. And so when I am over here complaining that I'm like, oh my god, they're reselling the 2020 Genosaur for $300. It literally just came out. It was $65, $70 when it was new, and now they're selling it for hundreds of dollars because somebody bought it out and is selling it on the secondary market. Well, maybe I don't like the fact that they're selling it for that much, but if someone is willing to pay that price, then that's what its value is, and that's what someone is going to sell it for. And I deal with this, of course, with being a big fan of card games and Yu-Gi-Oh! And the overly inflated prices. And this is a common argument we get all the time in the card game community is, oh my god, this game is too expensive. These staples are too expensive. It's too expensive to play this game. The person that is willing to spend the money to play it on the most competitive level does not care that you don't want to spend that money. If other people are willing to spend it, then that's the value, unfortunately. I still hate, from an ethical standpoint, people that buy up and scalp things and buy up all the stock of something on the secondary market to artificially inflate the value of it because there's now no supply and so much demand, and they control all the supply. And I hate people that do that. I hate people that buy out stuff and artificially increase value, but nothing really stopping them from doing that. That's capitalism and free market for you, I guess. So this was a little bit of a rant. Let me know what you guys think, but some tips. Do not buy anything off of Wish. Do not buy anything off of AliExpress that's related. I mean, anything in general, but especially not Zoids. Don't buy Zoids off of AliExpress. You're getting a bootleg. 9 out of 10 times you're getting a bootleg. If you see them on eBay, be very, very careful about generic stock images. I pointed this out in all my market watches. You see the generic stock image for an HMM, make sure it's from a very reputable site. If you're buying an older Zoid that's been out of print for a while, or even any kind of older collectible that's been out of print for a while, it's much harder to tell if it's going to be authentic or not. Now, the site myfigurecollection.com actually categorizes and archives a lot of anime figures, and they actually go so far as to list known bootlegs of those figures on the website. And I have never looked for Zoids on there. I think they show like the Revoltech Zoids. I'm not sure if they show all the HMMs and all that, but that's a good place to look. Sometimes the bootlegs are a little bit more obvious than others. There's an absolutely hilarious image of the bootleg Liger Zero Jaeger that they literally took a picture of the model kit and overlaid it on the artwork from the 2015 Star Wars Battlefront game. So you see the Liger Zero Jaeger model with AT-ATs in the background, and it's the dumbest looking thing. Like, they had to have known what they were making. Like, there's no way they didn't know what that is. And so every time I see the Liger Zero Jaeger that's the complete HMM, I always do a double take at the box art, like, is that the Star Wars one? Or is it the real thing where he's like doing the shoulder charge into the lightning sykes like from New Century Zero? Look out for those things. And if you hear somebody on the site that says, I bought a BT Zoid, I'm perfectly happy with it, I built it just fine, I can side-by-side comparison with it with the authentic one, and it's fine, I have no problems with it, I recommend buying them, then that's fine. That's that person's opinion, and I respect that. But I will never personally own a BT Zoid. I don't care if they never reprint the Blade Liger Mirage. If I never own a Blade Liger Mirage, I'm fine. I would rather never own it than own a bootleg of it. And that's just me. And that's not me being an elitist gatekeeper. That's me just not wanting to support bootleggers, if I'm being honest. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. If you guys have any comments on this, definitely do your research. Look up pictures of what these look like. Go on my figure collection. Go on eBay. And just have some respect for your money. I'll see you guys next time. Do you guys miss the gaming content I used to do on this channel? Did you guys know this is actually my second channel? My wife Michelle and I over on the primary Starcrossed Souls channel do gaming content as well as content about conventions and cosplay and some of the niche fandoms we're into such as Fire Emblem, Fate, and Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm also doing a retrospective series on the entire Type Moon series and all of the Fate works. It's a series I'm very proud of and has the highest amount of editing and production quality on anything I've ever done in my entire career of making videos. So if you guys are interested in checking that out, make sure to follow us on the main Starcrossed Souls channel and follow Michelle and I on Instagram for her art projects and my cosplay projects. I'll see you guys next time.